So, Sunday, 5.5. The line has come down a little bit, 53.5. What kind of game do you see?
I see a game, I think, where if the Bills are going to win, they're probably going to need to score 30-ish. 28, 30. I really am bracing for Cincinnati to be able to move the ball through the air. Do I need to say I hope I'm wrong? I think I mentioned yesterday, like their passing defense has been excellent all year long, but they haven't really exactly run the rapids with the teams that they've played. Tampa might have been a team that coming in, but you knew they were dinged up anyway. But if they were like what they were earlier in the season, that would have been a big test, but they were down a lot of guys. And, it wasn't that big a test. They took Ibuka away, and that was kind of it. Chase and Higgins and Burrow, I just think that they're going to eat, I think, on Sunday. I don't know if you're picking this game. Not that I need to give away picks.
I don't know yet.
Earlier.
I didn't try yet.
But I think I'm going to take the Bengals. And if I don't like the Bills, I usually just don't pick the game. Like that. Not that I'm Chris Berman or anything, but
no, you have not picked against the Bills in a long time.
I don't. I just would rather not. I'd just rather not do that. But I feel like this. I like the points. I mean, that doesn't mean I think the Bills are going to lose the game, but I think the least likely outcome for me is that the Bills win this game by a touchdown. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a closer game than that.
Well, that's not a great sign you speak for yourself. That doesn't sound like a great sign for how you think this is going to end.
Yeah.
If you can't see them, if you think the least likely outcome in a game against a 4-8 Bengals team is winning by 7 or more, then tell me how you think this ends. Like, they're 4-8
with a field goal. I mean,
the season.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think the Bengals are not. I mean, that offense is not a 4-8 offense.
No, but it sounds like it's kind of like, again, you do you here, but because I might not be any different actually. That you're sort of hoping that the Bills can skate through the playoffs. That they can go to, name it, Baltimore, Jacksonville, New England, or Denver.
None of their passing games scare me nearly as much as this Bengals passing game.
No, fine. No, nor should they.
Right.
But still, are you hoping to skate through there and win? And then, I don't know, the Super Bowl counts too, right? That we want that too.
Sure.
So whoever that is.
Yep.
Because really, do the Bills have a particular flaw or weakness against the pass relative to their other stuff?
No.
So if I go to Baltimore again, I don't know. Baltimore needs to look good once for me.
Yeah.
I don't really want to use them for this, but even I guess Indianapolis with Taylor, who has a better chance of beating me? Cincinnati at home in Buffalo. I mean, this game with Chase and Higgins. Higgins plays and Burrow, with that, and Chase Brown. They should be able to run it. I like that prop. I told you yesterday. I like that prop in this game, Chase Brown. But, that versus going to the Colts.
I'd go to the Colts 100 times out of 100.
Over this?
Yes.
Because they won't be 6-point favorites at the Colts.
No, they won't. I think this is the best passing game they've seen all year. I mean, a lot of this is sight unseen. I mean, it's Burrow's played one game since the early part of the season. But I think this is an elite passing attack. And I don't think there's anybody else, even Baltimore, I don't think anybody else in the conference that has that.
But that's not the Bills' weakness.
I think the Bills are living off of not having to play a team like this.
Oh, really?
And I think they also have a problem this week that makes it worse in that, at least they got good news on Epinesa that he should be fine after the scare yesterday with him in street clothes at practice. But no Bosa. He's been really the only like Russo's metrics are good, but I don't see him as a havoc creator enough. Like he might win his reps and get credit for win rate and all that stuff, but I just do not see him around the quarterback as often as I see Bosa around the quarterback. Maybe that's maybe I'm telling myself a lie when I watch. I don't know, but they're gonna really miss Bosa in this game. Like this is a game where if I've got a dude who can do the thing on the edge, go do that thing. Get me, a bushel basket of pressures and a couple of sacks on him, and I think I can slow you down. I'm not sure where that's coming from without him playing. And then I'm into, okay, what am I? I'm going to play my zone defense, and I think Burrow is just going to stand back there and chew me up. That's why, I think the Bills can win the game if they get their offense off, and this is not a daunting matchup in that respect. But, I mean, whose passing game do you feel better about coming into this game, recognizing that Burrow has barely played, and these three guys haven't been on the field together, I think, since, week 1 even.
Is that right?
Maybe week 2. I think early in the year. So I'm just really worried about that matchup, and I don't know that the Bills can keep up. Maybe they can. Maybe they can pull a Tampa game out of the bag here, because I don't think Cincinnati's going to get to Allen either. But if I've got Khalil Shakir and Tyrell Shavers and Dawson Knox out there, I don't know if I can really trust that they're going to be able to keep up with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and even Gesicki if you want him.
I don't.
Okay.
Burrow gets hurt week 2 against Jacksonville, and Browning goes in, and they win anyway somehow. But
that ended. After that, Browning was not any good. That's why they went and got Flacco. That's all I meant.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't like where I'm at. Maybe we should have let you go first to start the show because it's Friday. It's happy hour. I don't like where my head is at here. I think this is a lot. This is not your run-of-the-mill game against a 4-8 opponent. I think this is a team that if Burrow had been healthy all year is probably neck and neck with the Bills in a playoff race, despite their defensive shortcomings. I think that offense, that passing game is that good that I think that they're probably, again, they're right there.
That's interesting to me because it feels like nothing personal. It feels like that's selling the Bills a little short because of how they, what their strengths and weaknesses are, and they're still the AFC Super Bowl favorite, and the Bengals are 4-8. I'm not going to be able to detach from that record. It's funny. Maybe we live in a bubble with this offense and what it isn't. The Bills' offense now, not their defense. Their defense has been through a lot. And sure, you could, and people did, of course, criticize them for investing at the draft in their defense like they did, or free agency. But you can't deny that they've had some rough luck.
Oh, there's no question.
So then they were due for it, but it's still it's happened. Offensively, though, I think we're in such a bubble about how they play, who they aren't, what they aren't. They're running over teams like the Steelers on the road, Carolina before that, and it's almost like we don't care. And I don't just mean Bills fans. I mean, other analysts that I listen to sound likewise.
Right.
They're just not that impressed.
What is wrong with the Bills' offense? And by that, they mean the passing game.
When they beat the Steelers, it's about the Steelers. When they beat the Panthers, no one cares. In other games, they couldn't establish that. They couldn't do that. Houston, Atlanta, Miami. So I'm still, I said this maybe yesterday or the day before, I'm still kind of in this happy place, mostly, where I think this could be a team that we all just sort of give up on and they make it. And part of that is because there isn't Kansas City, or there may not be, or there isn't even this team, or Baltimore, whoever there isn't. I kind of am feeling that because when they do what they do best in the right matchup, they have dominated. And that's last week. And you couldn't really see that game happening again. Maybe not, because Cincinnati's more capable, maybe far more capable.
I just think it's not even close. Yeah,
but offensively, couldn't they have that game? where they
they could.
and have the ball.
Yep.
They had the ball for 41 minutes in Pittsburgh.
That game is that I think that game is possible. Yes, and I think they could have that and still have trouble stopping Cincinnati when they have the ball. Maybe that ends up affecting ultimately the total. Like maybe this game doesn't get to the 30s if the Bills are able to do that. Right. But instead, it's it's nip and tuck, and it's 27-24. That kind of game. I just think it's going to be a close game. I don't like the spread. I wouldn't bet the Bills. I'm not going to pick the Bills with that spread. And so I guess that I'm telling you that my mind is open to them losing this game. And then ultimately, what does that mean to the overall? Well, it means they're 8-5, and then they've got the Patriots next week. Is what that means, and it starts to get your collar starts to get pretty tight. I think.
This would be a really bad loss, though. After all that, this would be a bad loss. Losing to the Bengals. The Ravens just did it. And that wasn't close, actually, in the end, either in Baltimore. But I would call this a bad loss.
I'm not telling you that it isn't a bad loss. But to me, again, you say no offense, don't take it personally. I think you're hung up too much on the record. The record was largely accumulated without those three dudes on the field together. And I just think that is an elite combination of players that a great pass defense statistically this year could get
so
traumatized.
Is Burrow 3-0 this year as a starter? Weeks 1 and 2, and then last week?
I guess that's right.
He got hurt in week 2. He came back against Baltimore, so he's 3-0 as a starter.
Yeah.
Man, I watched. Where were we? Week 1.
Week 1, Sunday night.
Right. The Bills played at night. I watched a lot of that Bengals-Browns game. They were so lucky to beat the Browns.
Did they
only missed field goals?
Did they not get a first down in the whole second half?
It was terrible.
It was bad.
Maybe it's irrelevant because it's week 1 and this is week 14. Maybe that's irrelevant. But well, Sam's not going to know what to do with us if he's lost you. Like here he is waving the Bills flag every day on Bet Sweats, and now every Friday he comes on with us, and to varying degrees we're like, I don't know. I've certainly been that. I haven't liked the Bills in a game against the spread since when? Since ever. I've almost never. Andrew, you and I both do Filipponi's show, and he makes fun of me, if not also you. We're like, you guys never like him. And I'm sure there are listeners who think that too.
I often do when I do his show, but this week I told him what I just said now. Part of the reason that's already planted in my head. I'm like, I don't like the number, and I'm worried that the Bills' pass defense has gotten fat on, mediocre or worse passing games.
I haven't liked their opponent every one of these games. There were a couple that I did. Even Carolina I kind of did with Dalton. I got myself into that place. But I think, Tampa, Kansas City, New Orleans, those were not games where I was like dying to bet the other guy. But it's been a while. Those are big spreads early in the season, too. This one, 5.5. We've got a lot to talk about beyond just this simple analysis of Bills-Bengals. The rest of the AFC this weekend, including Houston at Kansas City. And, what's better? What's a better result for the Bills in that game? I think it's probably Kansas City winning.
I think that's probably right.
But that doesn't,
especially if you're me and you're on edge about this game for the Bills, right? Because Houston, at least Kansas City, you've got them head-to-head, and they're a game back of where Houston is, who are a game back of you. So I think as hard – listen, it doesn't matter. It's not going to matter what I say. That's Sunday night, right?
Yes.
I'm going to sit down to watch that. I could tell you – you could let me. I don't suggest we do this. I think it would be very bad radio. I could just say for the next 3 hours, I think I want the Chiefs to win. I want the Chiefs to win. I'm going to sit down to watch that game, and I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm sorry. I'm not 9, but I do not have control of my emotions enough when it comes to the Chiefs. No matter how good it is for me, I'm going to sit down, and as soon as something goes wrong for them, I'm going to be happy, and when something goes right for them, I'm going to be mad. I just intellectually cannot get there. So, yes, Chiefs is a better result. I hope they win. I'm not going to be able to do it. I just know I'm not going to be able
What
to.
about Browns Titans? Have you thought about that yet?
Don't care.
That's 1 o'clock, so you don't have. That's in the way.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it.
I would like to see Cam Ward have a good game.
Just
once. For
your stance.
For all the accounts that I'm following that seem to still be hanging on to the idea that it's the collective. He's good. He just has no help. Coaching.
Sure.
You know.
Even if that's right, he could still be doomed.